12 attained their majority. The 5 princesses were spinsters or childless. Of their 7 brothers, only 3 were married in the eyes of the Royal Act of Succession, passed by the King in 1772 as a safeguard against unsuitable alliances. Between them, they could only boast one legitimate or officially recognised grandchild, Princess Charlotte of Wales, offspring of the tempestuous marriage of the Prince Regent and his wife Caroline. In May 1816, Charlotte married the good-looking, earnest Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. The match was popular, for Leopold made an agreeable change from his wife's aging, dissolute uncles, but their happiness was destined to be tragically brief. Within 18 months, she gave birth to a stillborn son and died herself. Rarely had the country grieved so unanimously for a royal death. The large family of King George III, now a blind and deranged shadow, was apparently heading for extinction. There was no chance of the Prince Regent and his wife having further children, and the Dukes of York and Cumberland were validly married, but still childless. Tempted by the prospect of generous parliamentary allowances in return for performing their dynastic duties, 3 of the other dukes were prepared to jettison their mistresses and seek suitable wives. In July 1818, Edward, Duke of Kent, married Leopold's elder sister Victoire, widowed Princess of Leiningen. The Dukes of Clarence and Cambridge likewise wedded German princesses that year, and in 1819 there were 4 royal births. All 3 duchesses and the Duchess of Cumberland presented their husbands with children that spring. In March, Princess Charlotte of Clarence was born, but lived only a few hours. By contrast, Prince George of Cambridge was a healthy infant who would live to the ripe old age of 85. These births were followed by 2 in May. The second of these was Prince George of Cumberland, a delicate child, later smitten with blindness, destined to be the last king of Hanover. 3 days earlier, on the 24th of May, Princess Alexandra Victoria of Kent had been born at Kensington Palace. Like her cousin Charlotte, Victoria was to be an only child. The penniless Duke and Duchess of Kent wintered that year at the seaside town of Sidmouth in Devon, where the cost of living was considerably less than in London. Ironically, the Duke was solicitous about his family's health, but neglected his own. A cold turned to pneumonia shortly after their arrival in Devon. The prince, who had frequently boasted he would outlive his brothers, died on the 23rd of January 1820, aged 52. 6 days later, King George III followed him to the grave. The Prince Regent ascended the throne as King George IV. His heir was Frederick, Duke of York, whose wife died later that year. Second in line was William, Duke of Clarence. It was assumed that his wife, Adelaide, would present him with heirs in due course, for he was already the father of 10 healthy children by his mistress, the late actress Dorothy Jordan. Sadly for the Clarences, none of their children survived infancy. In 1825, therefore, Parliament acknowledged that Princess Victoria would almost certainly succeed Clarence on the throne, and voted the Duchess of Kent an annuity of £6,000 for the maintenance and education of her daughter. In 1827, Victoria came one step nearer to the throne on the death of the Duke of York. 3 years later, King George IV died and was succeeded by the Duke of Clarence as King William IV. Princess Victoria's childhood was a lonely one, with few even remotely contemporary companions. Her half-sister Feodora, 12 years her senior, married Prince Ernest of Hohenlohe-Langenburg in 1828 and went to live in Germany. After this, her only constant playmate was Victoire Conroy, daughter of the Duchess of Kent's controller. Yet this friendship was strained by Sir John Conroy's unprincipled behaviour. His loyalty to the